You are listening to a Called Collective podcast where we seek to equip the next generation of ministry leaders. The Called Collective produces multiple podcasts, which you can find in the description below. To learn more about the Called Collective, visit our website at thecalledcollective.org or check us out on Instagram at The Called Collective.
Hello and welcome to Coffee and Calling. I'm Levi.
And I'm Paula.
We are so excited that you're back with us.
Yes, we are.
We had an intro episode, but this is our first episode where we actually have a special guest.
Yeah, and we're really excited for this one. She's pretty cool.
She's dope.
She's cool.
She's really cool.
So, should we introduce her?
I guess she should introduce herself.
Okay.
We have Emilie Reynolds. Do you want to tell the people what you're about, what you're up to?
Yeah. Hello, everybody. My name is Emilie Reynolds. I'm currently a senior at Indiana Wesleyan University. I'm a ministry and business administration major.
Ooh.
I'm
Double major action.
Yeah, currently doing a few jobs on campus and yeah.
What are those jobs?
Yeah, what are those
Yeah.
jobs?
I'm student body chaplain, specifically of small groups. I'm a Macon barista, and I help out with the volleyball team at their home games.
Fun.
Statistician, right?
Yes, technically libero tracker, but nobody
Oh.
knows what that is, so I just say
Sure.
I help with stats.
Okay.
So when you say student body chaplain, what does that mean?
Yeah, so there's 4 student body chaplains at our school, and there's one that is in charge of chapel things, such as recruiting people to give testimonies and speaking in chapel a lot. There's one that is in charge of like student ministries. So they're like a connection point to the spiritual formation office and like other just student led ministries across campus. There's one for engagement, which is kind of just like attendance and probation and just working with people that are struggling going to chapel. And then there's me, who is over small groups. So I help supervise and lead the hall chaplains and help them in their recruiting process for small group leaders. And I also help approve and email the small group leaders and work very closely with our discipleship pastor in those ways.
That is super cool.
It's like a big girl
I love
job.
It.
Yeah.
It's a big girl job. It's so fun.
That's awesome.
I love it.
So we did pick up Macon, which is our coffee shop on campus. That's where Emilie works, and
Yes.
I work there too. I talked about that in the last episode.
Yeah.
But yeah, what did we get?
I today got a vanilla iced coffee, which isn't usually my go-to, but sometimes you just have to get an iced coffee.
Yeah, change it up.
Yeah.
I love what Emilie did, and she sent me, when she wanted the coffee order, she sent me the color she wanted it, and I really respect that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you need the specific, like, if you don't get the right color, it's not going to be good.
Yeah. And I don't want to waste money on coffee.
That's
That's
just
my
good.
biggest
That's just good clarity.
Yeah.
thing. Yeah.
Good communication.
Yes.
Yeah.
Of course.
Do you enjoy your iced coffee?
Unfortunately, I
Oh,
did
no.
put
That's tough.
a little bit too much creamer in it.
Yeah.
So it's a punch of vanilla in my face. But that's okay because it was free.
Somebody paid for it, but not
Somebody
us.
did.
So it was free to us.
Yes.
Levi, what'd you get?
I got a matcha, oat milk,
Love that.
no syrup.
Just plain matcha.
Yeah.
I also got a matcha, but I got blackberry.
Mm.
And if you put a pump of blackberry in your matcha, I will tell you, it's life-changing.
Wow.
Yeah.
The Coffee and Calling hosts here still
Didn't
have
get
not had
coffee.
coffee
Yeah.
on this podcast.
That's okay. We'll get there eventually.
Last time we had a smoothie and
I had a shaken iced tea.
a shaken iced tea. So thank you for being the first person to get
Yes.
coffee
You're
on
welcome.
our podcast
You're changing our
titled
ways.
Coffee and Calling.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have a kind of a fun question for you, just to, get to know you better. This is something stupid, could be heretical, but I don't know.
You
Is
know
it-
what? We have Grace here.
Yeah, we do. So just lean into this question. So, who would be your ideal pairing in the Bible? Like
My
couple up.
OTP.
Yeah, your OTP,
Mm.
and they can be from any part of the Bible. They don't have to be in the same.
What Bible
time
characters
period.
will you ship?
Yeah, essentially.
The tragic thing about a lot of this is that I'm not even gonna lie, I often space a lot of the female characters besides the main ones. So I'm gonna go with Simon.
Isn't Simon
Simon
Peter?
Peter.
Okay, Simon Peter.
Because
You go with his old name.
yeah,
Lovely.
yeah, yeah, yep, and Esther.
Okay.
Oh.
Now you gotta tell us why.
Yeah. Expound upon that.
Wait, is that who I mean? Yeah,
Esther's
Esther-
the queen. The one.
Or do you mean Ruth?
not Esther. I mean Ruth. I'm sorry, guys. Ruth, yes, for sure. So this is why I say that, because Ruth deserves a good guy.
Yeah.
She, I feel like the story, it was just like, you know, she follows around like Naomi, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Her mother-in-law, her ex-mother-in-law kind of.
Yeah.
Ex-mother.
Not ex. Her husband died.
Her late.
Yeah.
Well,
Her husband.
yeah.
And then her stepmother takes her in. And they move to a different town.
Yeah. I think I'm confused, actually.
Okay.
The one with Boaz, right?
Yeah. And
Is that what you're talking
okay,
about?
yeah. So basically, when reading the story, I'm like, Boaz doesn't really like her. This is just like
really?
He's
That's-
old too.
Yeah, this is just like a tradition thing, and I feel like he just kind of felt obligated, you know? Whereas Simon Peter, I don't know if you guys have seen The Chosen.
Okay. You think he's a handsome
He's
fella?
a handsome
Oh,
fella, and I
boy.
guarantee he actually looked like that in real life.
Oh,
You
boy.
guarantee.
I guarantee. And so I believe that they would be great together because she deserves a handsome man after having to
Well, Peter, the rock of the church,
right.
great credentials, but also he was a bit of a hothead. He's
He
cutting
was-
people's ears off. Like, that's not something you want in a.
Yeah, well, Ruth was so calm.
Oh, was she? Okay.
They would balance each other out perfectly.
They would balance each other out. She would be like, let me just sit at the feet of your bed and calm you down here.
Yes.
And he would be like, thanks so much, babe. I needed that.
It's perfect. What could go wrong?
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you for shipping that dynamic couple.
You're welcome.
That was great.
That was really good.
Okay, let's get into the meat and potatoes of this podcast. What do you say?
Let's do it.
So let's hear about your calling story. So
Mhm.
you're in Christian Ministries major. What does that mean to you? How'd you find IWU? Why do you think you got into the ministry call?
Yeah. So my calling story goes back to my junior year of high school. Every summer, my youth group my youth program at church would go to this Christian conference called CIY, stands for Christ in Youth. And we would go there every summer, and I'd been going there since the summer going into my freshman year. And it's kind of one of those things where at the end of the week, they kind of have one last thing at like the last night of like who gave their life to Christ this week, who rededicated their life to Christ this week, and always who's like feeling called into vocational ministry and who's feeling called to like make their career ministry. And every year I kind of was just like, I don't even know what that means. I don't want to do that. I never felt an like nudging towards that at all. Which I think is really funny because yeah, the Lord was still working on me in that way. But so it was my junior year of high school, and it was the last night of that camp, and it just felt different that night. And so as I was just sitting there listening as they were calling out these things, like obviously I'd already given my life to Christ, and at that moment, like I felt pretty stable in my faith. Like I didn't feel like I needed to rededicate my life, but my heart just, as they asked the question of who is, feeling led into vocational ministry, my heart just started beating out of my chest in a way that like I didn't even know what that meant, and I had never felt that way before, honestly. And so I was like, what the heck do I do with this? So I was just standing up there. I remember exactly the seat I was in and like where I was at in the arena. And I was like, I just got to go down there and just see what it's about. Like, I just got to they were just giving out little like name tags. So I went down, and just like immediately as I just made a like step of like just moving, like I just felt like I was going in the right direction. So I got my little name tag, and my youth group leader met me at the top and just started praying with me. And a lot of other people were accepting that call as well. So it was just a really beautiful thing. And moving forward, I didn't really know what that looked like, and I didn't really know how to articulate like where exactly I was being called or what kind of ministry I wanted to do. I just knew that the Lord had set me apart to do ministry. And it was just affirmed so much from then until now. But so, yeah, moving into my senior year, trying to decide what colleges to go to. Obviously, I needed a Christian school if I was going to study ministry. So I started looking around at most of the ones in Indiana. And IWU just really stood out to me solely because it was the prettiest campus I visited. I didn't know much about what I was looking for in a school or in a ministry program. I was just kind of going with the flow, and IWU was the prettiest campus, and I had a high school friend coming here as well, so I thought it would be easiest and safest. So I ended up coming here, and initially I came in as just a business management major with a minor in ministry, because at the time I was just really struggling living kind of in a lukewarm just season of not really being all in for Christ in that moment. So I just didn't really feel worthy to step into that call to ministry. But after just one semester here at IWU, the Lord just redirected my steps and got me back on the path that He had set out for me, which is really amazing. And I'm, all praised for that. But so yeah, I changed my major back to Christian ministries, but also kept my business major. So now I'm double majoring. And yeah, so just since freshman year, I would say I'm still kind of articulating what exactly ministry I feel called into. This past summer, I was able to work at a summer camp, and it really just showed me, and a lot of people called it out in me, of my gift of leadership and my gift of administration. And so I really just felt, and those are two things I'm really passionate about. And I don't remember which professor said this, but basically your calling is where your desires and your passion align with God's will. And so I do believe that God wants to use what you're good at for His kingdom. So I think that since then, since the summer camp, I feel like I've been able to develop a little bit more of where I'm supposed to be doing, like what capacity I'm supposed to be doing ministry in. And it might be leadership and more on the administrative side of ministry, which is something I would really love to do, because all of that is so important in ministry. And a lot of people are weak in that because, they're on fire to do the relational work, which is still really good. And I want to do that as well. But I think the Lord has gifted me with a unique sense of how to do strategical planning and how to do administrative work for ministry to help carry it out effectively. So, yeah.
That's so good.
Yeah. Through your journey of calling, so you got called when you were a junior in high school. After that, did you ever feel like, maybe I need to not do that, maybe I need to go in a different direction? Were there any lies that you might have bought into for a period of time, and how'd you fight those?
Yeah, for sure. I think every single lie that could exist came at me and fought through them. First, obviously, it was the money thing. Like, you don't make, which honestly, I have an issue with that anyways, because you don't make a lot of money doing anything.
That's right.
Like,
that's true. Yeah. You have to work hard to be successful anywhere.
Yeah, it's hard to be, wealthy these days, and that's not even the goal,
Right.
But like ministry, like you can still make a living doing ministry.
Yeah.
So, but that was just initially, because that's just what you hear all the time, that you're not going to make money doing ministry. So I was just wrestling with that, wanting to be well off in my future, knowing that I would struggle my whole life if I did ministry, which again, I don't fully believe that's true. But yeah, so that was something that kind of got in the way, which is why I was like, well, if I add in business, if ministry fails, like I'll have that, which is silly because I don't like business. So I definitely struggle with that a little bit. But I think honestly, that one, the Lord just revealed to me, like, that's not really even what you care about. I think you're just hearing what everyone else is saying.
Yeah.
And I'd much rather be doing something that fills me up spiritually than fills up my bank account. So,
Come on.
yeah. So, also, obviously, the lie of, like, you're not good enough. I think everyone faces that in whatever job they're going into. But just like I kind of mentioned, junior year and senior year, I got into a very just curious stage, I would say, and where I just wanted to really see if everything that everyone had been telling me about the faith and about the way I should live was true, because I was kind of doubting it. So I was kind of just doing my own thing and living for my own desires and trying out everything and rebelling in all the ways I hadn't throughout high school. So just dabbling in a little bit of that and then feeling super shameful about that afterwards, and not feeling like someone who does that type of stuff should be actively going into ministry. So yeah, that was definitely something I wrestled with for a really long time. And then it was clear that, like, you know, what I would say to people all the time, I had to believe for myself of he doesn't call me because I'm perfect and have it all together, but he calls me because he knows how he's made me and what he's gifted me with, and that has a space in ministry. And the cliche saying of he doesn't call the qualified, he qualifies the called. So,
So true though.
yeah. So that was definitely something I worked through and caused me to, take a few steps back every now and then. Yeah, and even now, was talking about this with you the other day of being in ministry classes, you run into a lot of comparison of like how much other people know about the Bible than you, how much, deeper you feel like people have like deeper prayer lives than you, deeper spirituality than you. And that just causes you to question a lot of things and question like your like purpose in being there. But time and time again, the Lord has affirmed me that, he has specific work for me and he wants me to do it. And yeah, I just have to believe that and live into that. So
Yeah.
That's so good. You mentioned that when you got your call to ministry, you were like one of the ones that stepped up. Did you have people or like friends who also got that call to ministry, or were you alone in that?
Yeah, I did have friends that stepped up during that time. One close friend and two friends that, I had known for a really long time. So yeah, we were able to experience that together. As time went on, I think they fell off from that call. But yeah, I was able to experience that with people, which is still really beautiful in the moment. And the leaders that poured into me, like during that time, kind of were like, we knew this was coming.
Yeah.
And yeah, but it was really still really awesome to have the support from the leadership all throughout those years. My youth group leader and my youth pastor from high school still consistently encourage me in my call and tell me how proud they are of me.
Yeah.
So that's just an awesome encouragement that I always have from them.
What would you say to people who like have gotten that call to ministry, but they're like the only one of their friends that are doing it, and maybe they have the support of their leaders, but like they don't have support of friends or peers or anyone their age?
Yeah, I would say there's still a lot of people in my life who, like my family, didn't really have, like I didn't have that support, or they didn't really even know what that meant. And I think a lot of people, like if you do step into that alone, like no one's really going to understand that, because a lot of times Christians don't really even understand what vocational ministry even is. I didn't. So honestly, just explaining to them what that is and why your heart is there will just squash a lot of the like skeptical, thinking that is going to come from a lot of them. And honestly, like they'll just be able to see your heart and your passion for it. And so hopefully you have good friends that will support you in that no matter what. And if you don't have that support, staying firm to that call and staying firm in your passion, what you believe God has called you into, will help them learn as you go along and live into that. Because I think sticking with it is what is going to allow them to see that you're passionate about that and you're serious about that. And it's not just some weird spiritual mystic thing that happened to you, but something that like you're living your life for. So if that makes sense.
Yeah. I think I might be wrong to say, but I feel like most people who are going into ministry have been met by opposition from Christians.
100%.
I remember like when I told my parents that I was called into ministry, they were so excited, but they thought that meant like I was volunteering at church. And so when I told them, I'm like, no, I'm like going to
The
do
whole
this.
thing.
They were like, well, maybe you should like add on like a nursing major or like a business major. And I was like, no, like this is what I'm doing. But it's cool to see like what you're saying, like staying confident and firm in that calling, because that does like change people's minds. Because now my parents are like the first ones to call me out when I'm like, maybe I want to be a real estate agent. They're like, no, like your call is to ministry and that's what you're doing. And so staying firm in your faith, staying firm in your calling, like it does wonders for like the faith of people around you.
100%. Yeah, I had some Christian leaders in my life that were like, yeah, you're gonna have to get a second job, like if you want to pursue that, like you're gonna have to get a different income, which is just so not true. I mean, there's such a wide variety of positions that need fulfilled in local churches and parachurches, and there's so many ministry calls that need full-time care and shepherding. And so those people low-key just don't know what they're talking about.
They just don't get it.
And there's nothing wrong with bivocational as well, if that's
Of course
your
not,
calling. Dip your toes in both. But Yeah, I had another question for you. Coming back to kind of the comparison game, on the opposite side of that, did you sense any like spiritual superiority, whatever that word is?
Superiority.
Oh wait, superiority.
Guys, we don't know words. Did you feel better than other people? Did you have this complex of like, okay, did you struggle with I'm not better than them, but I'm maturing in different ways than my
Pride.
peers? Did you struggle with pride at all? And maybe even your image, did they think, oh, she's so high and holy that she's inaccessible? Did you struggle with any of those things?
Yeah, I think in general I struggle with pride as it is. So
Welcome to the club.
to throw this on top of it was like, boof, spiritual development era.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think honestly I didn't really feel like that pride until around my sophomore year of college, maybe like later on in my freshman year, because I think from when I felt called up until college, I kind of felt embarrassed of the call and kind of unsure of it still. So I wasn't stepping into it fully and like embracing it all the way. So I didn't really have everything that came with until college when I stepped into that. And I think weirdly enough, like at a Christian school, like ministry majors are like sometimes kind of the cool people. That's kind of a stretch. They feel like they're the cool people.
They feel like it.
And
yeah.
oftentimes, like, you look up to the like senior year graduate ministry students because they're amazing and they're great people, and you're like, I want to be just like them and like be so cool like them. And when you feel yourself start to like step into those roles that they may have had, you're like, oh, I'm cool. Like I look like what they looked like. And I think I started to feel that way as I started being given these leadership roles on school and stuff. And it got kind of hard here, but I think here it was easy to be humbled very fast. I would say the pride stepped in a lot as I would go home or as I would enter secular settings, because you just gain so much knowledge here and so much just like experience. And it's hard to articulate that to, for example, like friends back home in a way that doesn't feel like I am a hothead that wants to teach them things, you know?
Yeah.
Like I think I'm still struggling with the balance of like wanting to just talk about and teach them all the things that I've been able to gain like knowledge of and all the amazing ways that the Lord is moving in my life without it sounding like I'm superior or holier than them.
Yeah.
'Cause that's not true. But yeah, I would definitely say I am still working through how to like navigate that in secular settings. But I would say here you see it so many times of like freshmen coming in with that same attitude that it kind of makes you more aware of your own attitude with a lot of the prideful things. So I think it's easier here to kind of check that in yourself.
Right.
And not feel that pride as much. Yeah, because you're just constantly reminded here. But in secular settings, I would say it's still very much a like battle I have to deal with.
Yeah, it's so strange that in many different cultures, like in one culture, one setting, being a pastor or being spiritually mature is like honor, where that can become a thing of, oh, my image is good because I'm spiritually mature or I go deep with God. And then there's other settings where it's like, you go deep with God, you're weird.
Yeah. 100%.
And so how easy is it for us to put ourselves in settings where we're actually probably not called, but we do it because we're seeking honor instead of going to the place where we're probably called, but we're looked at it as weird or strange. It's tough.
It's tough.
That's
it really is.
Yeah.
That's why James said not everybody should go into being a religious leader or to be called into the ministry.
I don't think you can be in ministry like without struggling with some sort of form of pride.
Yeah.
There's a whole set of temptations that set in specifically with ministry.
Yeah. Because it's just so hard because you find yourself living in a way that is like maybe like correct, air quotations correct. And like you're people who want to like follow the Bible, you want to follow the Lord, that's all you're trying to do. And then you look around at other people and you're like, well, they're not doing this and this and this and this. And then you look at yourself and like, oh, I'm doing that. And then of course pride sets in.
Yeah.
Right.
But sometimes I think about like the only reason that the pride's setting in and the only reason that I can point the flaws out in other people is because like our professors, like we're being taught about all of this constantly and it's at the top of our mind. And so it's like we're getting more information than like 90% of the students on this campus about our faith. Bless you.
God bless you.
And I just think it's just like I don't know. I don't know where to
Yeah.
go from that, but it's just hard.
Yeah.
That's like easy to get prideful.
Yeah. They don't, yeah, I know what you mean. They're not almost the standard. We can't hold them to the same standard that
Yeah,
we're
because
holding
they
ourselves
don't
to.
have the same information.
Yeah,
Right.
for sure.
So if you were to give some advice, little pieces and nuggets of advice to a teenager, a high schooler
Mhm.
who feels the call to ministry, they're maybe looking to go into education or maybe full-time ministry here in the next couple of years, what's advice would you give them for their journey ahead?
Stick with it. I feel like that's so like basic, but there were so many times that I could have been easily swayed, and I was easily swayed by culture and by influences around me. And I wanted something different for my life, but you have to connect with your Father every day. And if it's not every day, don't become legalistic like I tend to do and shame yourself for it and separate yourself from him. But just try to connect with the Father as much as you can. And that's what like will keep you firm in your calling, because you'll realize that, you'll form this relationship with him, and you will want to live your life doing his work, and you'll want to live your life furthering his kingdom. So just make sure you have that connection with the Father. Don't get so caught up in doing the ministry that you lose connection with the minister. Like he, is the reason for all of it. So you have to stay firm in your connection with him, or else you're going to feel kind of like, lost in your calling. But stick with that calling, stick with the Father, and it'll make it a lot more easier to deflect all of the other routes you could take, or deflect all the lies from the enemy that are going to come in. Don't honestly pray. Like, pray through a lot of it too. Be honest and like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this with my life. What does this even mean? Why do you have me here? And he will reveal himself to you. And he can handle your questions. Like, don't be shy with them. But yeah, just stay firm, stay rooted in the Lord throughout the journey that you're going on.
Yeah. Yeah, I hear that's so wise. I hear a lot from people who've been in the ministry for a long time, and what takes them out of their calling is usually the basics of Christianity.
Yeah.
It's, I just lost connection with God, and my ministry replaced my relationship with God.
Yeah.
And that's so hard to not do. But also, like, if we're about this, we should be in prayer.
Yeah.
Not in a legalistic way, not in a way that I'm better than other people because I pray, but that's our connection source. Like, it really just comes back to the basics of I'm abiding in Jesus. I find my home in Jesus. And that's why I'm here. Not so that I can get stuff done or look good or seek honor. It's because I truly believe that Jesus resurrected on the third day.
Yeah. And also, I just want to say, like, it's so worth it. Like, being able to do ministry and starting to, like, just step into your actual calling and seeing the fruit of some of it is so worth it. Like, I would have never imagined I could have so much joy and fulfillment from doing work that no one on planet Earth would want to do. You just get filled from it, and like it just pays off. Having to stick with it during all the hard times, like, it pays off, and you get to just have this like abundant joy of seeing the Lord move in lives of young people, or in lives of just at any age. Just seeing the Lord move makes it all worth it, because you just are able to experience his glory and his power like on a daily, weekly basis. So it's all worth it.
Yeah, that's a good reminder, because sometimes in ministry it feels so emptying. And then other times it seems so fulfilling. And there's that roller coaster of I'm just emptying myself constantly and I'm not getting anything back. It seems like I'm just kind of putting seeds into a desert and nothing's growing. And then finally something happens to where a relationship breakthrough, or somebody that you never thought would see the Lord comes to be saved. And it's really fulfilling and it's rewarding, and it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, eventually you will always see fruit of like your ministry, and I think it can be hard, especially for like our target audience, high school students. Like, if you're doing ministry, if you're in ministry right now, like, you're probably not seeing the fruits of your labor because you're only a year or two, I mean, maybe like 4 years in.
100%.
But once you're 20, 30 years in, like, you can look back and see the faithfulness and see the harvest. But you won't be able to see that unless you stick with it.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah.
It's a great reminder. So now we do a section, a little segment, some like to call it, at the end of our show where we like to uplift and encourage our guests just from what we've seen in their life. And that's what we're going to do now. So, Emilie Reynolds, you are a woman of integrity. You are so self-aware. You've been told that a lot. But you don't let that slide. You are actually a true woman of God who wants to have the right heart posture in everything that you do. You have such a reverence for God. You think about God all the time. You love him with all your soul, and you face so much of the enemy's opposition because of that. And you battle so well spiritually. I mean, you go deep with God because you've been through so much, and it's just really awesome and encouraging for me to see someone who is legitimately going to war every day for their faith in God. And so you're awesome. You're going to do great things in ministry, and you have bigger influence than you would ever know.
That's so good. Emilie, you are somebody who literally, like Levi said, loves the Lord and loves him with all that you can do. And you minister that in a way that it's like everyone wants to be like that, and everyone wants to imitate that. And I think that you live a life that is worthy of imitating, and that's exactly what Jesus called us to do. And so your influence, I see you using it only for the furthering of the kingdom. And you're also just like the funniest, most lighthearted person ever. You can take a joke, you can give jokes, and that's fun to be around. You're a wonderful friend, and you are going to do great things in ministry. You're really going to kill it, and your perseverance is to be admired.
Love you guys. Also, Levi's my boyfriend.
Yeah, we should definitely clarify that. That's why he was being so nice.
Whatever.
He has a crushie.
I do have a crush on Emilie. So, Emilie, would you like to pray us out? Pray for the people who are listening who may feel called to ministry. That'd be great.
Yeah, for sure. Dear Lord, thank you so much for the opportunity to get to do this with such good friends. God, I pray that our conversation and our words would just be impactful and be inspiring to someone who may be listening to this, trying to articulate their own call, or that may feel like they're being called to do your work, Lord. God, I pray that you would reveal yourself to them every day and help them to just have such a strong faith in where you're leading them, God, and help them to trust you with every step they are going to make moving forward, Lord. Just surround them in a community where they feel supported and they feel encouraged in their call, where they don't feel squashed or like they have to constantly fight every day to stick with it, God, but that it would become something light and free that they get to live into, God. Allow them to give their burdens to you and that they could take your yoke, which is light and easy, God. Lord, I just pray protection over anyone listening to this as they enter into ministry, Lord, that they would just be protected from any spiritual warfare coming their way, God. That they would know how to combat lies and pride and sin, Lord, in their lives, so that they can have the fullness that you offer in everything you do. We pray all these things in your name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you so much for being on the pod.
Yeah, and thank you guys for listening. We will be back again next week with another episode with who knows?
Who knows?
Only the week will tell.
We out.
We'd also like to take a second to thank the School of Theology and Ministry at Indiana Wesleyan University for using their facilities. We want to thank the Call Collective for producing all of our podcasts. The Call Collective seeks to equip the next generation of ministry leaders. To find out more information, visit @thecalledcollective.org or check us out on Instagram @thecalledcollective. Thanks for listening again and taking time in your day to have the chance to be formed by the conversations we have over coffee. See you guys next week.